I think she busted her lip when he threw her off his back. And in that moment, I thought, oh my God, we're screwed. We're never going to be able to get Rosario back. But she really is a wrestler, in my opinion. She came and did that as part of the Nightmare family, and I'm forever in her debt for that.
You're one of the judges on Go Big Show, and season 2 premieres this Thursday, January 6th. What can fans expect from this new season?
Well, I think one of the things that was most exciting for me going back for a second season of Go Big Show, having had such a successful first season, was now that the show has an identity and awareness and penetration when it comes to the full world, we were able to cast a wider net. So that just means more talent. That means more unique contestants and more unique acts. And I'm sure plenty of people who've seen the sizzles and the trailers and all that can see that ultimately the level of risk has really been amplified when it comes to this second season. Some of the stuff was you couldn't turn away, but also terrifying to watch. And I'm excited for viewers to get to see that the same way I got to see it.
So would you say these stunts that they do in season 2 is much bigger and much wilder than it is in the first season?
Well, I honestly think the word is always, as you said, is bigger. I mean, that is the apropos term. And that's what we push for when it comes to the contestants. You can't leave anything out there. Right now, my mind is drawn to James Carter, a freestyle motocross contestant who I believe is in the very first episode, and just the literal Macon Coliseum can't always hold these acts. It's I can't imagine what happens for season 3 if it happens, just because yes, they continue to get bigger, and bigger means more exciting and higher scores and people closer to $100,000.
Yeah, man. And one of the things new this season is the addition of T-Pain. What was it like working with him?
I think T-Pain is, what a just treat. And he also made a stop by All Elite Wrestling and handed me a chair, a whole fun bit to do with someone of his influence and his level of success. I always learn a lot from the other judges. Sometimes I feel like a little bit of low man on the totem pole. I'm the wrestler down on the end, and here I am sitting next to Rosario and T-Pain and Jennifer. But it's such... The judging panel and Bert as a host, we all like such different things. So that's what makes it really fun when we get to scoring. T-Pain he just dove right in, really did. One thing I thought was really fun though, and I don't know if this is common knowledge or not, but the dude is always walking around with a Beats pill, one of those speakers.
Yeah,
he's surrounded by music, and I thought that was pretty groovy. T's wonderful, and T got involved in more acts than I think any of the other judges did this season, and that's a lot of fun, especially when these acts are as risky as they are.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. But going back to the first season, what would you say would be the one stunt, or maybe even a couple stunts, that absolutely blew your mind?
Ooh. Curtis from Nitro Circus, he did a series of jumps, but one of them was in a whiskey barrel. And I believe, it's his semifinal jump from that first season, which go ahead and check out, because that's a really, it was a great episode. And we did whiskey shots prior to the whiskey barrel jump. It was one of those that just happened. And you see these, freestyle motocross, Nitro Circus cats, and sometimes you don't realize the level of difficulty and what they're doing because they make it seem so seamless. But Curtis was somebody for sure that I still think about, how you're able to control a whiskey barrel in midair just as if it was your bike. That's one of my favorites.
Right. And you mentioned Rosario Dawson, who's also one of the hosts or the judges on Go Big Show. And she actually, I remember watching this, she appeared on AEW Dynamite this past September, going face to face with Malachi Black. How did she like the experience, and how do you think she fared in her AEW debut?
I sent Rosario a message the next morning where I told her, I said, you're a wrestler. because she is one of the busiest people you'll ever meet with everything she has going on. She basically sped over from wherever a flight had landed and got to the Prudential Center in Newark and did what was asked of her with very little information and context. And the fact that you mentioned Malachi Black, to go face to face with one of these guys and have the bravado that Rosario has. I think she busted her lip when he threw her off his back. And that in that moment, I thought, oh my God, we're screwed. We're never going to be able to get Rosario back. But she really is a wrestler, in my opinion. She came and did that as part of the Nightmare family. And I'm forever in her debt for that. That was one of the most fun things that we were able to do. And whenever we can cross the streams, Go Big Show and All Elite Wrestling, that makes me feel really good, because I've been a wrestler my whole life, and not everyone looks at wrestling as highly as I do. Some higher forms of entertainment, I suppose, look down their nose a little bit at it, and none of my fellow judges look at it that way. They have all in some way or another kind of made their AEW debut, and she did it really, really well. I can't wait till we have her back.
Absolutely. That's awesome. And one last question for me before I let you go is, staying on AEW, Dynamite premieres on TBS day before Go Big Show on January 5th. What can fans expect from this transition from TNT to TBS, and what's going to be different, if there's any difference at all?
The synergy is amazing that we're moving to TBS, the mothership, as my father used to call it back in the 90s. And then the next night, Go Big Show season 2. It's a great synergy. I would say the term business as usual, but you've got to be an AEW fan to know what business as usual means. And that means the best bell to bell. That transition will be the same in terms of the best bell to bell wrestling anywhere in the world is on AEW Dynamite. It's on Rampage, Battle of the Belts coming, all our pay-per-views, Dark Elevation, the expansion of the brand over the past 3 years. It's a lot of responsibility. As I'm saying all this, I'm thinking, man, what a life. What a life. Wow. But yeah, I'm blessed that I can be on TBS 2 nights in a row. Man, I pinched myself. That's just a really cool opportunity.
Great stuff, man. Well, Cody, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on Go Big Show. Congratulations on AEW, and continued success to you.
Thank you very, very much, sir.